Hi, this is Richard here. So in today's video I'm going to talk about why Scottish fly anglers hate this particular method when it comes to fishing for wild brown trout. And if you're wondering what that method is that they all hate, and that's spinning. Whether it's using lures or actual spinners themselves. When it comes to fly fishermen, especially in Scotland, if you don't use flies and you don't fly fish, then you shouldn't be fishing for trout, some of them may say. So a lot of fly anglers hate guys who use lures or spinners when it comes to trout fishing. Throughout this video I'm going to talk about different methods and techniques that's going to help you catch more trout when you're using your lures or spinners, but I'm also going to talk about why both methods, whether it's fly fishing or lures, can be very effective. Hi, this is Richard here. So today I'm up one of my favourite trout locks up in the Highlands with my girlfriend Rebecca. She wanted to try spinning for trout, so that's why I've come up here. Now this lock is quite famous for brown trout, but I'm not going to name where it is. If you know where it is, then keep it to yourself, but no, it's one of my favourite trout locks. I'm going to be using my homemade spinners. Last year I made my own spinners and had good success. So the one I had success on last year, this is one of the ones I made. Just let you try and see it. Nothing special, just a own homemade spinner. So I've made a few of them. So I've got 4 in the gold, I've got 3 in the silver, and I've also got 2 in a bronze colour. When it comes to fly fishing, it was invented hundreds of years ago. I think it was around about the 17th or the 16th century that it really took off in Scotland. I don't know if it was invented in Scotland, but Scottish anglers have definitely played a major part in the sport to make it what it is today. Fly fishing is more about finesse and technique, whereas spinning is more about power and distance. Fly fishing can be more effective in certain situations, like when the fish are feeding on small insects near the surface, whereas spinning can be a bit more effective if you're trying to get a distance and also try to hit deeper water quicker. If the fish are down deep in deep locks, then the spinners are going to have a bit more effective method to use. So in today's video, whether I'm fishing from the kayak or the bank, whether it's spinners or fly fishing, all fish were safely returned. As you can see here, my pal David, he's fly fishing and he was able to catch 2 trout at one time, whereas if you were spinning, you've only got 1 lure, so you can't really do that. So when it comes to techniques, what I would recommend, especially when it's fly fishing, dry flies will work best when the fish are rising at the surface, whereas your nymphs is best when they're feeding on the bottom. But when it comes to spinning, try to cast and retrieve at different rates and depth, sometimes jigging. These methods work best with the spinners. It's basically experiment yourself, try different techniques, try different retrieves, try different speeds of retrieve and see what works best for you on the day. If you're not too sure on what type of flies to use, try and get local knowledge, whether it be from angling clubs, angling centres, or general fishermen you might see in the bank at the time that you're fishing. People like that are going to probably know what best fly to use, and that can be quite helpful. What type of bird that is, but it's a cracker. You might be thinking to yourself, how do I choose the right fly? Choosing the right fly depends on a few things. What the fish are feeding on, water condition, time of year. Start observing what insects are present around the water, then match the size, shape and colour of the fly to those of the insects. You might have heard of the saying, match the hatch. Well, that's basically what that means. you basically want to try and use a type of fly that is present as a bait that's in the water where you're fishing at that time of the year. I feel more confident catching something here now. That's got a good wee feeling now. Oh, I just seen a wee fish up there. Just ever so slightly, just come out the surface of the water. You in? Oh, I'm in. I'm in. I said it. Aye. I said that I seen a wee fish and I cast towards it. When it comes to what's the best water conditions when fly fishing, it depends on whether it's clear water, use smaller or more natural looking flies. In murky water, go for bigger, brighter flies that you see more easily in the water. Also consider the water flow. The fast moving water, use heavier flies to get down to the fish. Slow moving water, use lighter flies that won't sink too quickly. But that also depends on what type of fly line that you're using, whether it be a sinking line, an immediate, and so on. Also, when it comes to wind is going to play a part in what type of setup you're using when you're fly fishing. If you're fishing in really windy conditions, you might need to go to a heavier setup, whether you're using heavier lines. Cracking wee brown trout, took it right at my feet. So, fishing these wild walks up in the islands, what you've got to do is you've got to find the channels where it's deepest part. Just wade out, be very careful. Cast out your spinner. Let it sink for about 2 to 3 seconds. And then just do a steady retrieve in. Cracking wild brown trout up the islands. Can't beat it. Oh, it's actually decent. Oh, it's not ready. What could be it's fighting thing and it's only a wee one. What's that? Let me try this out. Oh! If I pick 2 flies to use up in the Highlands to target wild brown trout, the 2 flies that I would use, which are dry flies, is the irresistible Adams and also the Cape McLaren. Size wise, I'd probably use a size 12 barbless. These 2 flies I've used and had good success. I've even caught perch on. As to what spinners to use, I tend to find when it comes to spinners, a size 2 size works best, and also if you've got a spinner with a bit of colour to it. Blue or red tends to be the 2 colours that I've had most fish on. So this is a picture of my PB perch on a spinner. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Till next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.